Okay then, today I'm going to be showing you how to make some Lecsó, which to be fair in Hungarian is just an admint or a sauce to go with, I don't know, pork or other dishes, but in our household it tends to be a meal on its own to be eaten with a nice chunk of bread on the morning or the afternoon. So here are the ingredients that we're going to be using: some oil, some peppers, and I go for the yellow and red rather than green, but you can use either or extras. Some chilies, a couple of chilies again to your own taste, a bit of garlic, some tomatoes, an onion. You can use smoked sausage, chorizo, or smoked bacon. In this case I've gone for Mattison's sausages. I must admit I like it, and I think it's something we've done over the years. Inevitably some paprika, some chicken stock, and that's about all. So what I'm going to do is fine chop the tomato with the garlic, chop the onion, usually I slice the peppers, and I'll just chop up the meat. Now remember, if you want, you can cheat a little bit on this and use frozen peppers and tinned tomatoes. And you don't have to use all the ingredients, it's to your own taste. But this really is the basic one as it was taught to me by my old man. Now this is one dish really where you're better off preparing everything before you start cooking. So as you can see, there's me peppers have been sliced, me tomatoes have been diced, the onion's been cut fine, a bit of garlic and chilli, and there's the Mattison's meats all nicely chopped and ready to fry. And the order I do these in is exactly as it was passed down to me by my old man. And just for Lee, he always wants to know a little bit of fact or whatever. I notice whenever you write and ask for this, Lee, you ask me in writing what the recipe is. Just for your information, Lecsó is not spelled L-E-C-H-O. It's spelt in Hungarian L-E-C-S, and then it's O with an accent on, like the end of our name. I think the old Polacks do it a different way. They use the Z, L-E-C-Z. And this probably doesn't originate from Hungary. It probably originates just somewhere from Eastern Europe. So there's your bit of facts, Lee. So first of all, we put in the onions, along with the garlic and chilli. And as usual, and you know you like this particular word, Lee, we wait until the onions get translucent so they're part cooked before we go any further. Next in goes the meat that we've cut. And that really is like it's a quick sealing before we start putting all the other goods in. What you can't do is, if I show you this now, you will appreciate what it looks like, but what you can't do is what it smells like, which is fabulous. There you go, just simmering just nicely until we've had that for 2 or 3 minutes, just to get the Mattison's or whatever type of meat you're using slightly cooked first of all. Now the meat is starting to get cooked, it's all looking and smelling really nice. We put in one of my favourite ingredients, paprika, and again I like to put a lot in, but it's up to you how much you put in. It's to your own taste. But certainly for me, up to a quarter of that jar would be required on this, just to give it full value. Once it's been going for a minute or two, it should look something like this. Obviously the more paprika you put in, the redder it will look. And now's the time to enter the tomatoes into the mixture. I suppose that pack of tomatoes was probably worthy of a tin, just over a tin of the ordinary chopped tomatoes. It's up to you. I do think the fresh tomatoes taste a lot better though. And again, I was just thinking how much this meal costs, since I mentioned it last time. This has got to be £3, maybe £4, and if you sit down and eat it, unless you're Lee, this should fit probably 3 or 4 people as well. Finally, once that's mixed in, we put in the peppers, just pile them on top. And again, how many peppers you put in is up to you. I've used obviously the local Tesco ones. Just turn it over, mix it, give it a good old stir around. do is just put the lid on and we're finished. Finally, put in a stock cube or some tomato puree just to thicken it up. Wait till there's a few juices in there first of all, otherwise it will just start to burn the bottom and you don't really want that. If it does start to burn, just add a little touch of water, but the juice out of the tomatoes and the pepper should soon go to the bottom and help in the cooking process. It really is as easy as that. That now cooks on the hob, I would say, for once it's boiling, turn it down for 5 minutes later, leave it, I don't know, boiling and simmering away for about an hour, turn it off. Always do it the day before you need it, and then the following morning when you reheat it, it should be absolutely handsome. I'll show you later so that you can see what it looks like coming out of the bowl. In the meantime, enjoy. So here we are, as promised. This is the final thing after it's been cooking for about an hour, nicely down in a little mulch almost. Tastes very nice as it stands. Trust me, leave it for another day and again it will be fabulous. If you only use it sparingly with some chops or as a couple of bowls on its own, again it'll last 3 or 4 days quite happily. Okay, hope you enjoy it. Here's to the next menu.